Now, let's talk about the scene editor. As you can see, we have a bunch of controls that we can use to change how our scene reacts to the player. For example, on the left side, we have a toolbar for the elements that we can add. Then we have the top bar with some additional controls. For example, here the scene element list. This list is empty right now. We can also filter the elements. Then we can add new elements. I will show this in more detail soon. On the right side, we have the automated checks for our scene. And then we have the scene settings where we can change the background, add music, add ambience. You know how it works. Now, let's start with adding elements. I will just go top to bottom and quickly explain what every element is about. Now, there are simple elements that basically have no real settings. As you can see, once you added an element, you can drag and drop it, you can resize it, you can also rotate it just like you want to. If you hold Shift, it will snap to 45 degrees. You can also undo all positioning by using this button here. So we can basically switch around and also redo. Then we can use this to center the position, for example. We can also maximize it, and we can use different position controls to align the element with the edges of the scene. You can flip the element, and you can also change the layer that the element is displayed on. Right now we will just leave it like this, put it here. If you use the edit icon here, you can change the details of every element. For the simple element, we don't really have any things to change here. We can give it a name. We can assign a group. Groups are useful for filtering. And also we can decide a few things about the visibility, the dimensions, and the overall positioning of the element. And basically just close this for now. Now, let's move this aside. Next element, you have normal images. As you can see, you have access to all previously uploaded images in the scene. I don't really have a good image to display this right now, but as you can see, this is just an image that you can rotate. Okay, so let's just move this aside. Then you have the exit that I explained in a previous chapter. This is basically to go to another scene. For example, to our first scene. Place this here. Let's say the user goes here. Then we'll return to our first scene. Then you have the details scene that I explained in another chapter. Let's add this here. Then you can add characters. I already uploaded a few. For example, let's add Maria. I don't know why she's supposed to be angry, but let's use a neutral stand, and she's pretty big. So let's make a little smaller. Okay, so let's place her right here. She's now just waiting for us. Okay, next thing on the list, items. Items, as you might have guessed, are things that your player can collect. We can use any items that we have previously set up in the story. I will explain how to set up items in another video. For now, let's just take the leaves and also very big image. Okay, let's make this a little smaller. Okay, maybe the leaves are just laying here. So next we can use two different types of interactions. that we can add to the scene. Let's start with the simple interact element and jump right into the element settings. As you can see, for the interaction, we must decide what should happen when the player interacts with this element. You can give this conditions and you can add actions. For now, let's just play some narration and say, I clicked this wrong. I interacted with this element. Great. Let's put this here and jump into the settings. It's basically the same as the interact element. We'll also just go here, add some narration and say, I have looked at this element. Great. Now let's place this right here. Okay, last one in line is the text element. As you might have guessed, it's just a simple element to display text anywhere on the scene. This one has quite a few settings. You can add the text that you want to display. Here we can add some text or explanation or credits or whatever we like. You can also change the font size, change the color to something else, and decide how it's displayed. Okay, let's save this. We'll put this here. Now, as you can see, our scene is now pretty crowded. And at any time during developing your scene, you can use the scene preview to look at what you have created. So let's do this right now. As you might have remembered, we added an interaction here. So let's do this. Our narration shows up. This one is an inspect element. Inspect, you can inspect things by just clicking. Interaction is holding. So just click. We've looked at this. Then we have our item. We can collect this. As you can see, it shows up in our inventory. So that's basically everything you can do with the scene editor right now. And I will explain a little bit more about the different things we used to add these elements in other videos.